Today, I'm going to explain about the DBA related tasks, how we are going to receive tickets. Those things I want to explain clearly. So basically, what happens, this role, DBA role, supporting role. You're going to support different databases, different database servers. Suppose, generally what happens, for example, we have some database here, right? So this is, for example, production database. This production database connects to different applications, different tools that we cannot say, right? So anyhow, the here end user, customer is going to interact with your database, right? So when customer is going to perform operations in this database, generally they're going to face some issues. Okay. So issues means that we cannot say like connection related issues, performance related issues, different types of issues they're going to face. So if any issue is there, then your client is going to send that issue to you all. You means what? DBA. You are the DBA, database administrator, working in this support environment. So now if any issue is there, then what happens? Your client is going to send that issue to you. This is what happens. So this error message we are receiving from the client, that is called as ticket, T-I-C-K-E-T. Generally what happens, companies maintains different types of ticketing tools. Okay. So for example, ServiceNow is the leading ticketing tool in the market nowadays, right? So these are the things we are going to work as database administrator, right? In the same way, coming to next scenario. Now, yesterday I discussed some points related to ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure. This concept is really important for database administration because we are not working in development environment. We are working in support environment. So some ITIL process defined for support environment. So it contains some properties, some rules, regulations. So by following those properties, we are going to support different databases and different database servers. In ITIL, SLA is important for us, service level agreement. So based on SLA, ticket priorities and resolution timings will be defined. Yesterday, I discussed about some ticket priorities. Actually, what happens, ticket priority resolution time is not standard. That is going to change from company to company. But we are maintaining some priorities. Suppose P1 ticket is received. Immediate resolution is required. P2 ticket received. You can take 48 hours time for the resolution. P3 ticket received. You can take 4 days time for the resolution. P4 ticket received. You can take 1 week time for the resolution. Right. And generally what happens, these P1's tickets, P1 tickets, critical issues. You received P1 ticket means that is like, critical issue. Okay. Na? So now coming to next scenario. See, generally some people feel like every day we are going to receive same tickets. right? Critical tickets every day we are receiving. So in this case, what happens, we are going to face some confusions. Can I work in support environment or not? Because critical issues there, critical issue received, then we are going to face issues. So this type of things will be there, but that's not correct. Based on ticket, you are going to work every day. They're not going to, every ticket they're not going to open as a P1 ticket. Because of that reason only we have other priorities also, right? Okay, na? So you no need to worry about those things. Coming to next scenario. Now, so how these tickets are going to route? That is also really important for us. So for example, generally here we have client. Okay. Let me draw this diagram. Not exactly whatever happening in my company, I'm just giving that information now. For example, this is your client place. So they are going to raise the ticket. They're going to route it to some team here, maintenance team. Because the important thing is, you're going to work in support environment means not only database. Different things will be there. So database support will be there. In the same way, application support will be there. Network related teams will be there. Operating system maintenance related teams will be there. So different teams are going to work. For example, there is some ticket raised by the client. If this ticket is related to databases, then only you'll get this ticket. Suppose this ticket is related to application, then this ticket will be sent to application. So network related, network team. Windows related, Windows team. Right, and different teams there, different environments there. So now the important thing is, so from where these tickets are coming? These tickets are coming from the client. Who is going to raise the ticket means client only going to raise the ticket. Client side people, right? But sometimes what happens, I'll give you a simple example. You are a DBA. There is some issue, like for example, performance issue. Performance means what? Yesterday I discussed. Speed, accessing speed of the databases comes under performance. Okay. So you checked everything. Finally, you found like there is some network latency, network related issue there. So network is the problem for, reason for performance issue. You are a DBA. You don't know anything about network, right? And how can you resolve this issue? Am I right or not? You cannot resolve this issue, right? In this scenario, network, there is some spell mistake, don't mind. In this scenario, DBA team and network team is working together to resolve this issue. That means, sometimes to resolve some issues, we are going to take help from other teams. In the same way, sometimes to resolve some issues, we are going to help some other teams. So because we have different accounts here, see that database, application, network, different accounts there. That is the reason. Okay. So coming to next scenario. Now, some people ask like, how many servers you are maintaining, how many databases you are maintaining. That depends. That we cannot say, but mandatory environments are development environment, test environment, production environment. These are common scenarios. In the same way, before going to start our actual task in the sense practical part, I want to give you more clarity on this. When you are into real-time environment, you hear some words like deployment, go live, data refresh, I'm sorry, some words we are going to work. What is this? So the thing is, for example, in yesterday's class, we discussed clearly. Suppose this is development environment, QA environment, and production. We know that what type of data is going to store here? End user's data is going to store in this production server. Right? And right. For example, see, suppose the beginning development is done. Then it goes to QA. Then it goes to production. That's what we discussed in yesterday's class. Right? And okay. See now, for example, development to test to production, we are going to send the data. It means we are going to install this database in production server. That is called as deployment. Okay, na? After that, what happens, you know, as we discussed in the last scenario, some end users will be there. These end users are going to access this database by using some application or something, right? And whatever it. Application user, end user, customer is going to access our database from production. That is called as go live. Okay, now. Sometimes what we do, we are going to provide production data to testing purpose. So production, not every company. Some companies are going to provide their production data to test environment. That is called as data refresh. Okay. Sometimes what happens, we are going to schedule this data refresh. We are not going to do backup and restore. We can schedule it. So for that scheduling purpose, we are going to use some concept called as replication. We have snapshot replication. Yesterday, somebody asked me, are we going to discuss high availability? Replication comes under high availability, right? And this configuration we are going to do. So based on schedule, what happens every time production data will be copied to test environment, they're going to test it. These things really important for us because terminology, database administration terminology, real-time terminology, this is really important for us. Okay. So coming to next scenario. Team hierarchy, better to know about the team hierarchy, who will be there in that team. So that is also really important for us. See, whatever the hierarchy I'm giving, that is not mandatory. Different companies maintains different hierarchies. Whatever hierarchy I'm maintaining in my company, I'm showing that. So in my team, we have database support related vice president, then director, SPM, senior project manager, team lead, and a senior resource in the DBA team and DBA team. This is the hierarchy, our team hierarchy. Why I'm giving this complete information in the beginning only, that is useful for you. That is really useful for you because of that reason only. In the beginning only, I'm giving this information. Okay. So in the same way, I said like ticket to tool. Ticket to tool will be there and official email ID will be there for us. Sometimes they're going to give us some phone also, but not mandatory. So suppose your client raised a ticket, right? And suppose your client raised ticket. In the beginning, the ticket goes to ticket to tool. Along with that, you'll get alert also, email alert. Because see, you're working with some organization means they're going to provide you official email ID, right? You'll get email ID from the organization, right? And generally what happens, this email ID will be configured to Outlook. They're going to provide you system, right? A laptop or a desktop, whatever it, they're going to provide you some system. So in that system, they're going to install Microsoft Outlook. They're going to configure your email ID to Outlook. When you're going to open your system, automatically you're going to log into your email ID, right? You're automatically, you're going to log. These things will be there. So my suggestion is, anyhow you are learning course, better to learn how to configure Outlook. Suppose you have some email ID. For practice purpose, create some Hotmail email ID, something. and configure it in our laptop to Outlook. Generally, you no need to configure, they are only going to do it. Better to know the things, right? Some companies, what happens, critical tickets, they're going to call you directly. You'll get calls also, but it's not mandatory. Phone is not mandatory, but ticket to tool email you are going to get. It's mandatory. Okay, na? So these are the things we are going to work in real time. In the same way, generally what happens, suppose you joined as a database administrator for some company. So what happens, they're going to give you some system in the beginning, right? So system means laptop or computer. Nowadays, work from home is going on still. So they are given, many maximum companies are giving laptops. If you work from office, then okay, that we cannot say. So now what happens, this system, whatever the system provided to you, this system will be connected to network. You're working with some organization means some network will be there. Domain will be there. Company domain. Domain means network only. LAN. I think you heard about LAN, local area network. Different things, different types of networks. So now this system is clearly configured to connected to network. So now you're going to get the credentials. How you are going to get the credentials, For example, my name is Suresh Vadde. I can get like this. See, maximum S Vadde / suppose I'm working with some organization, ABC. So in this way, I'm going to get the mail. I'm not mail and the credentials. We also call them as credentials because this is the domain, organization domain. So now some people says that have you joined with organization? Yes, I joined, but I'm still waiting for credentials. That is the reason. Sometimes what happens, they're going to give you, they're going to take some time for giving you credentials. You can enjoy that time. But see, the important thing is these credentials you're going to connect. After that, you can ask them for KT. Generally, you're going to join with a new project. Means you should know about that project. At least what is that project? Who is the client? Right? And this type of information they are going to provide to you. So that is called KT, knowledge transfer. KT means not SQL DBA training. Right? And your project details. So these are all will be there. That is called KT. Sometimes what happens, they're going to give you product related more information, extra information. These are all will be there. But only thing is patience required because we are working in support environment, right? Okay. Na? So sometimes what happens, we are going to coordinate with on-site team also. On-site means suppose you are working as DBA in Hyderabad. Suppose your client is from New York. Some team will be there in New York. So you are going to coordinate with them, US counterpart, right? This is really important for us. These are the things we are going to do. Anyhow, it is maintenance job and support job. You are going to work with the different types of tickets. So coming to next scenario. where your task is going to start. The DBA. Generally, your task is going to start with the building server, building database server, and SQL server. So important thing is, suppose somebody asking you, suppose your manager is asking you, Suresh, so we need some test environment, SQL Server 2019 version, right? So give me requirements. So what type of requirements we are going to give? SQL Server version details, SQL Server edition details. I'll explain those things, don't worry. Operating system requirements, disk requirements, network requirements, right? Okay. I think these are enough now. So you should know network disk space operating system. Operating system means in real time. Now, practice purpose, we use client operating systems. We are going to install SQL Server on top of Windows 10 operating system. Windows 10 is client operating system, right? But in real time, to install SQL Server, we are not going to use client operating systems. We are going to use server operating systems. Okay, Nandi. So now, disk space requirement based on size of the database. What is the expected size? Network, general network bandwidth, speed. So these things, okay, just leave them. Version or edition? Version of the SQL Server, edition of the SQL Server selection is also important, right? So let us see what are the versions available in SQL. See, lot of versions and SQL 2000, 2005, 2008, 2008 R2, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019. So these are the latest version they are going to release again. These are the versions available in SQL. But right now, maximum companies are working with SQL Server 2019 version. So we are also going to work with this version. 2019, I'm going to show you on this training, right? And even you are also going to download SQL Server 2019 to practice. I'm going to give you links, software download links. So editions, flavors of the SQL Server. We have enterprise edition of the SQL Server. Enterprise edition is top-end edition of the SQL Server. It contains all features of the SQL Server. Generally, for production environment, we are going to work with the enterprise edition of production servers. Then we have standard edition. The major difference between enterprise edition and standard edition, cost will be reduced, even features also reduced. Okay. You know, some companies, some environments, They are using standard edition for production. But there are some issues. Actually, standard edition cannot support some configurations. Standard edition cannot provide performance sometimes, like enterprise. So generally, production environment means we are going to use enterprise edition. Enterprise edition. Then we have developer edition. Developer middle range, limited cost to limited features. Generally, for test environment, the development environment, we are going to use developer. In the same way, we have Express edition. Express edition is completely free. You can directly download it from official website of the Microsoft Corporation, and you can go for practice. But see, real-time purpose, we cannot use Express edition, right, Andy? So these are the editions. We have some other editions also, but these are important for us. So let us see here, anyhow, recording is going on, right? Live, I want to show you how to download SQL Server software, practice purpose. You have to download SQL Server separately. In the same way, Management Studio separately. Go to Google website. SQL Server 2019 download. Go to this. So this is the website. Under developer, you can see download now button. Click on it. It is going to download it. But it takes seconds only. But open that downloaded file. Then you can see there install button. Click on it. Then it is going to download. Here you have Express edition also, but don't go for Express edition. We go for developer edition. This is for what? SQL Server. In the same way, Management Studio download. This is the website. Here, just click on this one. You can download SQL Server Management Studio software. Directly, you can go for installation. There is nothing. No need to select anything here when you are going to install Management Studio. But SQL Server installation, we are going to select something. Because of that reason only, I'm going to provide some videos. I'm going to upload some videos for SQL Server installation purpose. See here, even if you want, I can directly provide software download link. Here is the download link. I'm going to send it to you. In the same way, somewhere I prepared some video for SQL installation and see this. SQL Server installation, how to install SQL. That also we prepared. In the same way, database creation purpose also we prepared video, because I'm going to provide some backup files for practice purpose. If I'm not giving the database, how you are going to practice? Tell me. You cannot, right? Even for that also, I'm going to give you some here things. Okay. So these are the things we are going to follow. And coming to next scenario, installation part is really important for us. For example, this is some computer. In this computer, you are going to install SQL Server. So some computer means some name there, like this one. So when you are going to install SQL Server instance, you are going to provide some name there. The name you are going to provide to SQL Server installation, that is called as instance name. Here we have named instance and default instance. Named instance means we are going to provide name explicitly. Default instance means we are not going to provide name. It takes name automatically. That is the difference. Right? And so what type of instance we are going to use in real time? That depends. That I cannot say now. We are going to use only this particular instance. That I cannot say now. Okay. That depends. So here, instance, after installation only, you are going to create database. That means in the beginning, you are going to install server, then you are going to create databases. This is what we are going to do.
Sir?
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, what is meant by instance, sir?
Instance means a fresh copy of the SQL Server installation.
Okay. During the installation purpose only it is used, huh?
No, after installation, by using same instance only, you are going to create databases, you are going to work, right, Ashok?
Okay, okay. Okay, sir.
Generally, server means instance only. Okay,
okay. Okay, sir.
Right? Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. So these are the things we're going to do. So next step is we have to go for SQL Server installation. I'll do one thing. Here I'm going to send you SQL Server installation link. Wait, please. And even Management Studio, downloading Management Studio link also I'm going to send it. So everybody will receive it now. See this, links I sent. Do one thing, please. If anybody having Windows 10 operating system, Windows 10 operating system, download these softwares by tomorrow's class. In tomorrow's class, I'll install SQL and Management Studio on that laptop so that we can cover installation part practically. That's what my request. Okay, na? Right? Right. So coming to next scenario.